When you walk into that store, open that app, or mark that slip, pause, that moment is sacred. This is not gambling. This is creation. The world tells you to hope, but hope is uncertainty. What you must carry is knowing, the kind of knowing that doesn't flinch when the odds shout against you, the kind of knowing that says, it is done. Do not play as one who is waiting to receive, play as one who already has. When you hold that ticket, feel the coolness of it in your hand and let your mind whisper gently, this is the one. Not because of luck, but because you chose it in consciousness long before the numbers ever rolled into reality. You must understand this. The numbers are not chosen for you. They are chosen by you through your inner conviction. And that conviction must be silent, calm, unshakable. Do not keep checking. Do not talk about what if. That is the language of doubt. Instead, close your eyes tonight and sleep as the winner. Not the person hoping to win, but the one who already has. Let your body relax in the softness of wealth. Let your breath settle into certainty. Let your mind rest not in desire, but in fulfillment. You are not chasing numbers. You are tuning into a reality where the numbers already align. Hold that ticket like it's your birthright and speak over it. Thank you for choosing me. Not someday, not maybe, but now. You are imprinting the physical with the power of the invisible. And above all, don't visualize the moment of winning. That's just a door. Visualize what's on the other side. See the home. See the travel. See the ease. See the freedom. See your mother smiling. See the people you help. See the joy of walking into a room and knowing everything is taken care of. Because that is where the magic lies. So play, but don't just play the lottery. Play reality. Do not buy the ticket in hope. Buy it as one who already possesses what the world is still waiting to see. This is the secret most overlooked. Hope is passive. It waits. But knowing is active. It creates. When you act from hope, you stand outside of your desire. Admiring it is something distant, fragile, uncertain. But when you act from knowing, you become one with the thing you seek. You collapse the distance between yourself and the outcome. You become the fulfillment of the desire itself. Understand this. There is a great difference between wanting to win and knowing you have won. The former is rooted in lack. It says, I don't have. The latter is rooted in abundance. It says, it is already mine. One stems from separation, the other from union. When you walk up to purchase that ticket, your outer world may still look the same, but your inner world must already have shifted. You are no longer a person trying to become rich. You are rich, participating in the ritual of claiming what has already been assigned to you. Most people buy tickets with shaky hands and hopeful hearts. They speak about luck, chance, and odds. They discuss numbers and strategies. But what they do not realize is that the real lottery happens within. It is the state of consciousness you occupy when you make the decision to play. The only number that matters is the frequency you are tuned to. Because reality, as you know it, must reflect back to you the dominant tone of your imagination. So when you choose the numbers, don't scratch the card or tap submit. Do so with quiet confidence. Do not beg, do not wonder. And above all, do not wait. The one who knows does not wait. They live as if the outcome has already been delivered. They do not obsessively check. They do not keep asking, what if? They do not allow their current bank balance to tell them who they are. No, they walk differently. They breathe differently. They treat money differently, not recklessly, but freely, because they know it flows in like breath and just as naturally. You must train yourself to live in the assumption. When the desire is imagined with intensity and accepted as real, then life bends to it. This is the principle few understand. You are not drawing a lucky number. You are aligning with a version of yourself that already has it. That self already exists. It is already done. And when you dwell in that version, when you live from that place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, the physical must conform. You do not need signs. You do not need proof. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will demand evidence before it allows belief. But you must do the opposite. You must offer belief before the evidence appears. You must walk into the store and feel what it's like to have already received. Smile softly, not because of what may happen, but because of what already has. And in that quiet certainty, something shifts. Not in the ticket, but in you. The magic is not in the paper. The magic is in the state. And that state, when faithfully occupied, draws all things into form. You are not reaching forward. You are remembering backward. The moment you say, I am the winner with calm conviction, the world must rearrange itself to mirror your knowing. So do not hope. Hope belongs to those who still doubt. No, it is yours. and live from that knowing. Then watch as the outer reflects the inner, and the numbers obedient to your imagination fall into place. Before the numbers are drawn, before the world can catch up to what you already know, you must dwell in the end. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is not a mental game of pretending. It is a spiritual act of creation. It is the bold declaration that what you desire already is, even if your senses insist otherwise. The world is always lagging behind your inner convictions. What you see with your eyes is simply the echo of what you believed within. So if you desire to win, you must first win in imagination. You must go there not once, not briefly, but often with vivid emotion and sincerity. You must inhabit that version of yourself that has already received the blessing. Close your eyes and ask, how does it feel to know the numbers matched? Not just the joy in the moment of discovery, but the deep lasting peace that comes when the burden of lack has fallen away. What would change in your breath, your walk, your posture, your choices? You see, it is not about wishing to win. Wishing is still waiting, but feeling it is real. Embracing it without evidence is the bridge. At night, when the lights are off and the mind is free from distractions, this is your sacred time. Before you fall asleep, surrender to the feeling that you are already the person who has won. Don't reach for it as if it's distant. Sink into it. Let your body relax as one who has nothing more to chase. Let your heart beat with the rhythm of abundance. Let your soul whisper thank you, not for a future event, but for a reality already here. This is not mere visualization. Visualization is a technique. This is possession. It is not imagining the money arriving. It is being the one who already has it. The distinction is subtle but powerful. When you imagine as though it's coming, you keep it on the horizon. But when you feel it as yours now, you pull it into the present. And the present is the only place manifestation can occur. Speak not of the wind as a hope, but as a memory. It felt so simple. I always knew. Of course it happened. Use the tone of certainty. Let your inner dialogue reflect fulfillment, not lack. And don't be concerned with the outer. The numbers are just symbols, and symbols obey the one who holds the state. You might think the odds are against you, but you are not dealing with chance. You are dealing with law, the law that says whatever you feel to be true will shape itself into form. So the number you dwell in the end, you give the universe its command. You say, this is who I am, and all things begin to shift. But the shift begins with you, not with the ticket, not with the machine, not with chance, but with you, with your inner world, with the assumption you carry into sleep, into conversation, into your breath. So don't wait to feel like a winner. Feel it now. Assume it now. Be it now. Because what you assume, you create. And when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you draw the unseen into the seen. And the magic begins. Do not obsess over how or when it will happen. The moment you plant the seed, your part is complete. The desire has been set into motion, and the rest is not yours to micromanage. You were never asked to make it happen. You were asked to believe it has already happened. That is the difference between manifesting with power and delaying it with fear. The seed grows in silence and in darkness, not by force, not by constant digging to see if it's sprouting. It grows by surrender. So it is with your desires. Once the feeling has been assumed, once the inner act has been accepted as real, your work is to let go. Let the unseen forces do what they must. Trust that it is working, even if you cannot yet see the evidence. Many delay their manifestations, not because they don't want them enough, because they want them too much. They cling, they chase, they doubt. They question whether it's working. They stare at the calendar wondering if they did enough. But this energy of desperation is not creation. It is resistance. It is trying to force the flower to bloom before it's ready. You must learn the art of detachment. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. You no longer need to beg the universe for signs. You no longer need to constantly affirm or visualize with anxiety. Instead, you rest in the confidence that it is already yours and that it is making its way to you in perfect time and perfect form. Let go of the how. The human mind will try to solve it, manipulate it, predict it, but you are not the source of the miracle. You are the recipient of it. All things are being arranged behind the curtain, far beyond what you can comprehend. Stay in your state of knowing and trust the unfolding. Let go of the when. Time is an illusion to the creative spirit. What feels like a delay is often a period of alignment. The universe is not ignoring you. It is preparing the exact path for your manifestation to arrive without obstruction. If it seems quiet, it's not empty. It's sacred. just like the roots that spread underground before the tree breaks the surface. Letting go is not giving up. It is the highest form of faith. It says, I know it is done and I do not need to interfere. And from that posture of surrender, the manifestation comes not with effort, but with grace. It may arrive suddenly or softly, but it will come because it must. Reality cannot withhold what you have already claimed in consciousness. Detach from needing to see it. Instead, feel it. Let the inner feeling be enough. Let the peace that comes from knowing replace the panic of needing. Live your life as though it's already settled. Go about your day with lightness, not waiting, but enjoying, not hoping, but resting. Let every action carry the quiet energy of one who already possesses what others are still reaching for. You don't have to know the mechanics. You only need to know the truth. What you accept as real in imagination, you will experience in life. So do not dig up your desire with doubt. Water it with trust. Shine the light of calm confidence upon it. And when you least expect it, when you are no longer looking, what you once desired will walk right into your world, drawn by the silent power of your surrender. So detach, not because you don't care, but because you care enough to let it come in its perfect way. And it will come not through force, but through faith. Not through worry, but through rest. Let go. The seed has been planted. And the magic, as always, is already underway. Hold the ticket with reverence, not as a mere slip of paper, not as a random chance tossed into the wind, but as a sacred symbol. This ticket is not lifeless. It is the bridge between your inner world and outer reality. It holds within it the potential for transformation if you dare to see beyond its appearance. Many clutch a lottery ticket in desperation, hoping it will change their lives. But hope is weak compared to belief. And belief is still a step below knowing. You must rise beyond all three. You must treat the ticket not as something that might work, but as something that has already served its purpose. When you hold it, you are not waiting for your numbers to appear. You are acknowledging the manifestation already complete in the unseen. Speak to the ticket. Yes, speak to it. Words carry vibration and intention directs power. Speak as one who knows you are blessed. You are the carrier of wealth. You are the doorway to my answered prayer. Don't speak in fear. Don't speak to convince yourself. Speak because your soul already recognizes the truth. This is not about magic in the traditional sense. It is about energy. Everything is energy. The ticket, your voice, your thoughts, your emotions, all are frequencies in motion. And when you bless the ticket, you tune it to the frequency of abundance. You are not changing the paper. You are impressing your consciousness upon it. You are making it fertile ground for manifestation. Hold it gently, but with confidence. As you touch it, imagine your energy transferring into it. The feeling of wealth, the joy of receiving, the calm knowing that all is well, imbue it with love, not attachment love, because love does not grasp. Love trusts, and trust is what makes the invisible visible. You must remember, the ticket is not the source of your wealth. It is the servant of your assumption. Do not place your power in it. Place your power within, and then extend it to the ticket. It is simply the container that will carry what you have already created in imagination. Just as a letter is not the message, it simply delivers it. Most people wait until after the numbers are drawn to assign meaning. But you are not most people. You understand that creation begins in the unseen. You assign meaning now. You give thanks now. You celebrate now because you have already received inwardly. The ticket is the physical echo of an inner act, the harvest of a seed once planted. As you go about your day, carry the ticket not in fear, but in faith. Do not check it constantly. Do not beg it to win. That energy speaks of lack. Instead, carry it the way one carries something sacred, with stillness, with gratitude, with certainty. Whisper to it, if only in your heart, thank you. You are already fulfilled. And then release it. You have done your part. You have breathed life into it through your imagination. You have aligned your emotion, your energy, your belief. There is nothing more to chase, only to receive. The ticket is no longer paper. It is a symbol, a reflection of the unseen becoming seen, a quiet reminder that reality bends to your assumption that wealth is not found, it is embodied. And what you embody, you draw near. So bless the ticket, not because it holds your future, but because it reflects your present assumption. And if that assumption is one of fulfilled desire, of complete trust, of deep knowing, then the ticket will simply follow the script you've already written in your heart. Let it be so. Give thanks daily, not for what might come, but for what already is. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight. Gratitude in advance is the mark of one who knows. It is not a ritual of polite manners. It is the language of receivers. When you give thanks for what has not yet appeared, you are not pretending. You are acknowledging what is already real in the invisible. You are aligning your inner world to the reality you have claimed. Gratitude is not something you use after something good happens. It is the tool by which things happen. It is a creative force, a signal to the unseen realm that you are in harmony with what you've asked for. When you feel grateful, you are not waiting, you are receiving. You are not longing, you are living in the end. So speak your thanks with conviction. Thank you for this blessing that is already mine. Say it before you see it, because waiting to see it is not faith. That is sight, and sight follows belief, never the other way around. Your world does not change because you are thankful after. It shifts when you are thankful before. Do not confuse this with forced positivity. Gratitude in advance is not about suppressing emotion. It is about elevating your awareness. It is choosing to dwell in the vibration of fullness rather than lack, even if the bank account says otherwise, even if the world appears unchanged. You close your eyes and feel the abundance within, and you give thanks for it as though it were already in your hands. When you rise in the morning, let your first words be, thank you. It is done. Not out of habit, but from a deep inner knowing. You are not asking, you are receiving. You are not hoping, you are declaring. This shifts your entire state of being. And when your state is aligned with gratitude, miracles must come, not because you force them. The mind may say, but I haven't received anything yet. That is the trap. You have received everything already in consciousness. And consciousness is the only true substance. The physical follows just as shadows follow form. Gratitude carves the space for that form to solidify. Feel it. See yourself walking into the life you've imagined. Hear the sounds of it. Taste the sweetness of it. Then say thank you, not with a question mark, but with a period, because that is final. That is sure. That is the heart that has already received. Even when doubt creeps in, answer it with gratitude. When fear whispers, what if it doesn't happen? When you reply with thank you, it already has. When delay appears, thank the delay for preparing something better. When the world looks silent, thank the silence for the perfection it hides. You are no longer reacting to appearances. You are creating from within. Let your thankfulness become your rhythm. Make it your atmosphere. Let your breath carry the energy of one who walks with blessings already poured out. This is not fantasy. This is alignment. And alignment is what causes mountains to move, doors to open, and destiny to rearrange itself around you. Gratitude in advance is your evidence of belief. It is the proof you trust what you cannot yet see. That trust will never be betrayed. The universe cannot resist a grateful heart. It bends to serve it every time. So give thanks. Not once, not only when it's easy, but daily, deliberately, joyfully. Give thanks like the one who already holds the winning ticket. Give thanks like the one who already lives the dream. Because in the unseen realm, you already do. And in time, the seen must follow. You were never playing the lottery to win. You were playing because you already knew. The world sees chance, but you move by inner law. You no longer hope. You no longer beg. You become. Each act from blessing the ticket to assuming the feeling to giving thanks in advance is not superstition. It is power. It is alignment with the unseen forces that shape all things. You have shifted from waiting to receiving, from effort to embodiment, from desire to fulfillment. You live now as one who already holds the prize, not because the numbers say so, but because your imagination declared it so. You do not chase results. You rest in the truth that they are already yours. As you let go of the how, the when, and the noise, you become magnetic to the very thing you once longed for. This is not about luck. It is about consciousness. The only lottery that ever mattered was the one inside your mind. As you play, you no longer play to get. You play to express what is already done within you. The moment you assume the wish fulfilled, the moment you feel the life after the win, the moment you give thanks before it appears, that is the moment it becomes real. Thank you for choosing belief over doubt, stillness over struggle, and creation over chance. Let this knowing be your new foundation. The magic was never in the numbers. It was in you. I tell you with absolute certainty that your inner speech, that which you tell yourself when no one else is listening, is molding your world in ways you cannot begin to imagine. These words spoken in the quiet of your mind are more powerful than any force in the visible world. They are the unseen architects of your destiny. For just 24 hours, I challenge you to become aware of your inner conversation. Listen to what you are telling yourself from moment to moment. Are you speaking of limitation? Are you rehearsing your failures? Are you constantly affirming illness, lack, or impossibility? If so, you are using the creative power of your word against yourself. Instead, for 24 hours, speak to yourself only in terms of the ideal you wish to embody. Speak from the end as though what you desire is already an accomplished fact. This is the secret of manifestation that has been veiled in mystical language throughout the ages. When you awaken in the morning, let your first thought be, I am blessed beyond measure. Everything I desire is already mine. Feel the truth of these words. Let them sink into your consciousness like rain into parched soil. Your mind is that soil, and your words are the seeds from which your future will grow. As you prepare for your day, continue this transformed inner conversation. If you desire financial abundance, do not say to yourself, I hope someday I will have enough. Instead, declare with feeling, I am now abundantly supplied. Money flows to me effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources. Do not concern yourself with the how. Your work is not to determine the means, but to establish the end in your consciousness. If you seek improved health, cease speaking of your body in terms of its limitations or ailments. For 24 hours, speak to yourself as though you are vibrantly healthy. I am filled with energy. My body is strong, resilient, and functions in perfect harmony. The creative power within you doesn't analyze whether your statements align with physical evidence. It simply accepts what you decree and proceeds to bring it into manifestation. In your relationships, transform how you speak to yourself about others. If there is someone with whom you experience conflict, change your inner conversation about them. Instead of rehearsing grievances, speak to yourself of that person as though they already embody the qualities you wish to experience. They are thoughtful and understanding. Our communication is clear and harmonious. Remember, the outer conversation merely reflects what has already been established in your inner conversation. In your career or vocation, speak to yourself as though you already occupy the position you desire, possess the skills you seek, or have achieved the recognition you yearn for. I am excelling in my work. My contributions are valued and rewarded. I am fulfilling my purpose through my daily activities. Now, I must emphasize that this is not positive thinking as it is commonly understood. This is far more profound. You are not trying to convince yourself of something against evidence. Rather, you are exercising your divine prerogative to choose the consciousness from which you operate. You are selecting the state of being from which your reality will unfold. Your consciousness is the only reality. The world you experience is simply consciousness objectified. Change your consciousness, your inner talking, and you must change your world. This is law. For 24 hours, refuse to speak to yourself of problems. There are no problems apart from your conviction that they exist. What appears as a problem is merely a situation awaiting your new conception of it. Speak to yourself from the consciousness of the solution already achieved and watch as the so-called problem dissolves before your eyes. I recall a woman who attended my lecture some years ago. She had been struggling with chronic illness for nearly a decade. After hearing these principles, she decided to change her inner conversation for just one day. Out of her habitual thoughts of I am sick, I will never recover, no treatment, shame, she began to speak to herself as though she were already whole. I am perfectly well. My body knows how to heal itself. I am stronger each day. She reported that by midday, she experienced a noticeable shift in her energy. By evening, symptoms that had plagued her for years had diminished significantly. Within a week of maintaining this new inner conversation, she was able to resume activities she had abandoned years before. Her physicians were baffled, but she understood the principle at work. She had changed her inner world, and thus her outer world reflected this change. Another gentleman used this practice to transform his financial situation. For years, he had spoken to himself as a person of limited means, constantly affirming, I can't afford that. I never have enough. Money is hard to come by. For 24 hours, he disciplined himself to speak as a wealthy man would speak. I am financially free. I am wonderfully wealthy. I can afford anything that truly matters to me. He shared with me that on that very day, he received an unexpected check in the mail, a refund from an overpayment he had made years earlier and had completely forgotten about. More significantly, opportunities began to present themselves in the following weeks that allowed him to increase his income substantially. The change in his circumstances directly reflected the change in his inner conversation. Let me clarify something of vital importance. When I speak of your inner conversation, I am not referring merely to affirmations repeated mechanically. I am speaking of that constant stream of thoughts, that mental chatter that accompanies you throughout your day. This is the word that was in the beginning of all creation in your world. For this practice to transform your life, your new inner conversation must be felt. It must be imbued with the emotion of already being and having what you desire. Feeling is the secret, the very fuel of manifestation. Your feeling is your faith, your conviction, and it is according to your faith that it is done in you. As you move through this 24-hour period, you will likely notice your old patterns of speech attempting to reassert themselves. This is natural. Do not fight them or condemn yourself when this happens. Simply notice them and gently, but firmly replace them with your new chosen conversation. Remember, you are breaking a lifetime habit of speaking to yourself from the standpoint of limitation. Be patient with yourself, but be persistent. Each time you catch yourself speaking the old language, it is a victory, for you have become aware, and awareness is the first step to transformation. Throughout this 24 hours, pay particular attention to how you speak to yourself when faced with unexpected situations. It is in these moments that we most readily revert to habitual patterns. If something occurs that would normally trigger anxiety or frustration, pause before allowing your inner conversation to fall into familiar ruts. Then deliberately choose words that affirm your ideal, not your fears. For instance, if you find yourself stuck in traffic when you're already running late, resist the temptation to say to yourself, "This always happens to me. Nothing ever works out. I'm going to be in trouble." Instead, speak to yourself as one for whom all things work together for good. This delay serves a perfect purpose. I am exactly where I need to be. All is well, and all manner of things are well. The power of speaking to yourself in this transformed way for 24 hours is that it interrupts the momentum of all thought patterns. It creates a new groove, a new pathway in consciousness that once established becomes easier to travel. One day of vigilance can create a shift that alters the trajectory of your life. I want to address a question that may have arisen in your mind. Is this not self-deception? Am I not lying to myself when I speak as though I have what physical evidence clearly shows I do not have? This question reveals a fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of reality. The physical world you perceive is not the cause, it is the effect. It is not the beginning, it is the end result of consciousness. When you speak to yourself from the state of having your desire fulfilled, you are not lying, you are creating. You are exercising the same power that has created everything from invisible thought to visible form. In Scripture, we are told that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your new inner conversation is that substance, that evidence in the unseen realm of cause. It precedes the manifestation in the visible world of effects. Speaking to yourself from the consciousness of already being or having what you desire is not self-deception. It is the highest form of truth, for it acknowledges the creative principle of the universe. For these 24 hours, I urge you to adopt the mindset that your word is law. What you decree in the privacy of your mind must come to pass in your outer experience. This is not arrogance or magical thinking. It is simply acknowledging the creative principle that operates through all of us. I am is the self-definition of the infinite. When you say I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. Be exceedingly careful then what you attach to this powerful phrase. For 24 hours, use I am only to define yourself in terms of what you wish to be, do, and have. Instead of I am tired, say I am energized. Rather than I am worried, declare I am confident all is working out perfectly. In place of I am stuck, affirm I am continuously moving forward toward my goals. Now, a practical suggestion for implementing this 24-hour experiment: begin by writing down some of the habitual phrases you catch yourself saying internally. Next to each one, write a new phrase that reflects your desired state. Keep this list with you as a reference throughout the day. For example, old I never have enough time. New I have all the time I need to accomplish what truly matters. Old why does this always happen to me? New everything that happens serves my highest good. Old I'm not good at handling money. New I am a wise and prosperous steward of abundance. Old no one appreciates what I do. New my contributions are recognized and valued by others. As you engage in this practice, you may discover that certain areas of your life are more challenging than others when it comes to transforming your inner conversation. Pay special attention to these areas, for they often hold the key to your greatest transformation. The resistance you feel is merely the old concept of yourself fighting for survival. Some of you may be wondering how this practice relates to your interactions with others. After all, we don't live in isolation. We are constantly engaged in outer conversation as well. Here is a profound truth. Your outer conversations with others are actually reflections of your habitual inner conversations. When you change how you speak to yourself about others and your relationship to them, you will naturally find your outer conversations transforming as well. You need make no direct effort to change how you speak to others. As your inner conversation shifts, your outer expression will align itself accordingly. For 24 hours, speak to yourself about others as though they already embody the qualities you wish to experience from them. If you have a supervisor you find difficult, rather than internally rehearsing their faults, speak to yourself of them as understanding, supportive, and appreciative. If you have a child who is struggling, speak to yourself of them as confident, capable, and thriving. Do not be concerned if you do not yet believe what you are saying to yourself. Remember, you are not reporting what is. You are creating what will be. Your faithfulness to your new inner conversation, despite all evidence to the contrary, is the measure of your faith. And again, it is done unto you according to your faith. I want to emphasize a point that many miss when first encountering this principle. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in the consciousness from which they spring. Words are merely the vessels that carry your consciousness. Speak to yourself not just with new words, but from a new state of being. This requires the use of your imagination, the greatest creative power you possess. As you speak these new words to yourself, see yourself as the person who would naturally think such thoughts. Feel what that person would feel. Move through your day with the attitude and bearing of one for whom these words are the natural expression of their being. For 24 hours, live from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. This is what it means to pray without ceasing, not to beseech an external deity, but to maintain an inner conversation that aligns with your desires already fulfilled. I recall a young man who applied this principle to transform his career. He had been in the same position for years, passed over repeatedly for promotion. His inner conversation was filled with resentment and defeat. They don't value me. I'm stuck here forever. Others get the opportunities I deserve. For 24 hours, he disciplined himself to speak to himself as though he were already in the position he desired. I am an invaluable asset to this company. My contributions are recognized and rewarded. I serve in a capacity that utilizes my full potential. Within days, he was called into his supervisor's office and informed of a restructuring that created a new position, one that perfectly matched his skills and offered significantly more responsibility and compensation. What had changed? Not the external circumstances, but his inner conversation about those circumstances. As you move through these 24 hours, you may find yourself wondering how to handle thoughts about the past. Many of us have habitual inner conversations that revisit past disappointments, failures, or hurts. For this period, I urge you to speak to yourself about your past in a new way. Instead of interpreting past events as limitations or justifications for current conditions, speak of them as the perfect preparation for your current good fortune. Everything in my past has equipped me for the abundance I now experience. Every challenge has strengthened me. Every setback has redirected me to something better. This is not denying or suppressing painful experiences. It is reinterpreting them from a higher perspective. It is recognizing that consciousness is the only reality, and you are free at any moment to choose the consciousness from which you view your life. Let me share another dimension of this practice that many find transformative. For 24 hours, speak to yourself as if you are God speaking to you. For indeed, your I am is God individualized. When you say, I am blessed, it is God declaring blessing through you. When you say, I am strong, it is God expressing strength as you. This understanding removes any sense of untruth or pretense from your new inner conversation. You are not fabricating a reality. You are allowing the highest truth to express through you. You are claiming your divine inheritance as a creative being made in the image of the Creator. As this 24-hour period progresses, you may begin to notice subtle shifts in your external world. People may respond to you differently. Opportunities may present themselves unexpectedly. Solutions to long-standing problems may suddenly become clear. These are the first fruits of your transformed inner conversation. Do not, however, become preoccupied with looking for results. Your work is to maintain your new inner conversation regardless of appearances. The manifestation follows the inner word. It does not precede it. Keep your focus on being faithful to your new way of speaking to yourself, and let the outer pictures rearrange themselves in their own time and manner. I must address a question that often arises: what if I maintain this new inner